Thank you, Speaker. To the Premier. Last Friday, I heard the Minister of Energy on CFRA, and he could not have sounded more smug, promoting the new power deal with Quebec as a great savings for ratepayers. But he slipped up and quoted a 10-cent savings. And the host was relentless. Was it 10 cents per day, per hour, per kilowatt, or per household? But the minister's masterful dipping and diving finally ran the clock out with no answer. The Premier would have scored him a perfect 10. So on Monday, she seemed unaware that questions about the Quebec deal were being asked. Will the Premier tell us today if she is aware of the sheer magnitude of Ontarians' electricity bills, or does she believe that 10 cents a month should be called relief or just another slap in the face?
Mr. Speaker, I know the Minister of Economic Development and Growth is going to want to comment in the supplementary, but Mr. Speaker, it seems to me that for some time there have been calls from opposition members in this House from both opposition parties that we should be doing more. We should be doing more to find agreements with Quebec, Mr. Speaker, that Ontario and Quebec should be working together to get that clean power, Mr. Speaker, at a good price for the people of Ontario. That's exactly what we've done, Mr. Speaker. This is a landmark 7-year deal. It'll help make electricity in Ontario more affordable, clean and reliable, Mr. Speaker. It's 2 terawatts of power, and that's enough power to power the city of Kitchener for a year, Mr. Speaker. And the agreement will reduce electricity system costs for consumers by $70 million, Mr. Speaker. $10 million for 7 years, Mr. Speaker. It's a good deal for Ontario. It's a good deal for Quebec. It's a good deal for the country, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary.
Take it back to the Premier. The Premier thinks that $37 billion Ontarians overpaid for electricity was worth it. The additional $133 billion we'll overpay by 2030 is worth it. So let me tell her about my constituent, Mary. She's been battling cancer for 4 years. Then a billing problem results in a $15,000 hydro bill. Her family is not eligible for social help. She can't afford any more bills. She can't afford her food or even a phone for her to keep in touch with her doctor. The family is now at the end of the rope. And Speaker, with electricity rates that have quadrupled over the last 13 years, they simply are too high. Could the Premier explain, in light of her spin with the Quebec deal, what she would tell Mary about handling her measly dime?
Here's your dime.
Minister of Economic Development and Growth.
Minister of Economic Development.
Mr. Speaker, the Premier, the Minister of Energy, and all of us have been very clear on this side of the House that we care about those residents that are struggling with their energy bills. That's why, Mr. Speaker, we're reducing their bills by 8%, something that the members opposite just sniffed at. That's why we're reducing the bills of those in remote and rural areas by 20%.
Order.
Something the members of opposite think isn't substantial enough. $70 million savings to the system with regard to the Ontario-Quebec agreement is $70 million out of our system that residents don't have to pay. You sniff at that. We've suspended the second round of large renewable procurement process. You criticized us for doing that. That's $3.8 billion in savings. Reducing the feed-in tariff prices. That saved $1.9 billion. Again, the members opposite said that's not good enough. We removed the debt retirement charge from bills. That's $5 on every bill. I have a list of a dozen items, Mr. Speaker. Each and every one of them they oppose. Each and every one of them we think is really making substantial differences in the lives of Ontarians.